Thank you very much, Elaine. Thanks for curating the session. My name's Dominic. I'm the education evangelist for Adobe. If you don't know Adobe, you probably will know stuff like Photoshop. That's kind of like their most famous thing, or PDF. That's how everyone kind of knows us. But Adobe are doing a lot of stuff in education now, and I'll explain all of that. The introduction to this session is this is called Spark Your Career. And we all want our students to stand out from the crowd, get someone in a position of influence to give students the opportunity they need, whether it's a career or a place in the next place in their studies, or an apprenticeship or whatever it is. And we want them to have that opportunity to showcase their skills and fulfill their potential. So what I've done at Adobe is I've designed a series of tutorials where they're really, really quick. I think they're all about 3 minutes. There's one that's about 6 minutes, and there's 7 of them in total. And it shows how to put together a digital portfolio using Adobe Spark. Now, Adobe Spark is completely free. It's beautiful. It's simple. It's very, very quick to use, very intuitive. And it's a great way to bring all of the experiences and the qualifications and the skills that your students have got into a place which visually looks beautiful and also supports things like video and external links and anything you want to put in there whatsoever. So one of the really good things about Spark is that it allows you to make things look really, really professional without having to be a professional designer. That's the best thing about it. It's very, very simple to do, and it does that through things like templates. Templates is a big thing. And also the UX design of the whole system is very, very intuitive, very, very simple to use. The upside to that is how good things look. The flip side to that is sometimes people are like, oh, well, I want to do this, or I want to do something quite specialized. And I personally think that the restrictions are the positives in Spark. This is not something like Adobe Premiere Pro. You're not going to be doing sort of Hollywood films on it. You're not going to be creating, absolutely beautiful bespoke web pages on it, but you are going to be able to produce beautiful portfolios, very simple and straightforward videos which showcase you and your talents, and also really incredible looking graphics, which actually take very, very, very little time to do. So I think just what might be useful is for me to go through a bit of my own experience. So, I was a teacher. I did a lot of jobs before becoming a teacher. I said I'd never be a teacher. And then I kind of wanted to do something which made a difference. And my parents are both teachers, and they told me never to do it ever. But I decided I want to do something that, made a difference. And one of the things that really sort of I struggled with in school was, although I, did well academically, I really struggled to see the point. I didn't really understand the point of things. And, now that I worked in the classroom for nearly 10 years. Then I started at my own education business, bringing together film or bringing together video and traditional literacy, so reading and writing. And then that led me to using Adobe Spark. We were working for about 3 years in our business before we really understood what Adobe Spark was all about. And it came along and it kind of revolutionized everything we did. And I know that sounds really corny, but it did, because it made something. We'd been trying to get people to use Movie Maker and iMovie and green screen, and some schools would get it and some schools wouldn't, and eventually Spark came along and it was like, oh, this is simple, this is easy, this is very, very straightforward, and that really changed everything for us. And I worked a lot with Adobe during that time, and then they asked me to come on about a year ago and do this kind of thing full time for them. So I feel like one of the really interesting things, I do a lot of work in secondaries, and the advantage I see with colleges is that really that link between the real world and what happens in the college is very, very strong, and in schools it's very, very weak. They're trying to do something about it now through the Gatsby benchmarks, but they're really struggling with it. And really, I would really like to see colleges take this to the next level, and that's what I think this digital portfolios with Spark allows you to do. So let me start off by showcasing an example of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to share my desktop. Okay, there we go. And here we are. So what that I'm scrolling through here now, this is an example of a portfolio. Okay, this is one that I put together as an example for other people to see. And you'll see as I'm scrolling through, it's very, very simple, but this is in edit mode. Okay, so you can just press any of these plus buttons, you get these options, you can press anything in here and you can edit them. You can add in new sections. If I just scroll down here, I can add in a section here, gives me photos, text, video, buttons, photo grids, glide shows, all sorts of things. It's very, very simple to do. I promise you that if you spend, let me say, if you spend an hour on Spark, you would be good enough to use it in a classroom. If you spent a whole day on Spark, you'd be as good as I am. And I promise you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what this looks like when I present it. Okay. So if I press present in the top here, and you'll see it comes through to this page. Just allow that to load. It shouldn't take a few seconds. So here's my digital portfolio. Now, one of the really cool things about Spark is that if a young person is being asked to present about themselves for an opportunity or a job interview or whatever that is, it has this present mode, which works really beautifully because I can just use my left and my right arrows to scroll through. So if I just hit right arrow here, I've got a bit of a text intro here, telling them all about me and what I'm doing. And I want to break into the drone industry. I mean, it's not true, but just an example. The things that I've done, if I scroll through again, here I've come into, I've done a bit of research. This is one of the tasks that I've put together in this Spark Your Career kind of series of challenges. I've got on the right hand side here, I've got an infographic which I made using Adobe Spark Post, which is the graphics part of Adobe Spark. I've got some text on the left. Again, I'm going to carry on down to these are some of my achievements to date. And then it goes into a glide show. A glide show is very beautiful. It's kind of this very visual presentation. I've got things like buttons where you can click through. It'll come up with an external link. I've got a video in there. If I click that video, it'll come up within the presentation itself, and I can play that if I wanted to. I won't play that now. Scroll through again. You see the way it kind of drifts between one to the next. I've seen absolutely beautiful art portfolios done using this. And also, you know, people who are in fashion or design or beauty, you know, showcasing a really beautiful portfolio of the work that they've done. Here's another one. Again, you know, we've got a video in there. The last time this was made using Adobe Spark Video, which is the video editing program in Adobe Spark. This one is a YouTube link. You can just click that and it'll come up with, you know, its embedded YouTube video. And then we carry on going down, and again, I've got a button which will click through to an external page. And, you know, all of these images in the background, they're just kind of sliding in and sliding out. And then we go down to typical tasks. I put together this graphic. It took me about 10 minutes maximum. These are the top 5 tasks of wind turbine engineer. And one of the challenges in this series of challenges is, okay, you want to go into this next opportunity or career. What do you know about that career? Are you serious about that career? Have you done your research about that career? Do you know what it entails? And this is just a graphic to show, hey, look, I know what the top 5 tasks are. I know what my day-to-day is going to be. And then last but not least, there's an About Me video as well. Again, it's made in Adobe Spark Video. If you just click it, it comes up and you can present that. Very, very simple. And that About Me video is just a really good way for a young person to showcase who they are, show that they're not afraid to present themselves on camera, that their communication skills are good. Because one of the things that I saw, especially when talking to employers, is that they all come up with the same thing, and they're saying there's a lack of creativity in the people that they want to bring onto their teams or bring into their businesses. Lack of communication skills. They might have a great CV, but when they come in, they can't really present, they can't really talk, they can't really eyeball. We've got critical thinking, not particularly something we're addressing here. Then we've got collaboration. Well, certainly on the video work, I'd encourage you to do that collaboratively in small groups of students, inviting peer feedback, and then obviously digital skills is a major one. The reason why we designed this was not only to showcase skills effectively, but also allow students to use the tutorials to go, you know, potentially from zero to digital hero, you know, access those opportunities that they deserve post-college. So let's have a look at this and see how it works. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this example that I showed you before, and I'm going to show you how I build it. Okay. Now I have got I have got examples, I've got these kind of examples here, which I'll dip in and out. Some of them I'll do from scratch. Some of them I won't do from scratch just because of time restrictions. But what I'm going to do first is I'm in Adobe Spark here. This is completely free. If your college hasn't set it up already, get it set up. It's completely free. It will always be free. I'll click on the plus over here. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to create a header image for my digital portfolio. So I'm going to press, well, actually, this time what I think I'll do is I'll go to the home screen and I'll show you the templates. So these templates are great because this is the way that you can showcase, really good design skills without actually having to be a designer. So for my header image, I'm going to search for photographer template, okay? Because the photographer ones are usually pretty cool. And you can see all of these templates here. There's absolutely loads of them. They're absolutely beautiful. The design is absolutely spot on. Everything matches really well. And you can just go in there, click one like this one, edit this template. And once that loads, I'll show you how to bring in all of your images yourselves. Now we're going to do a portfolio. We're going to finish one off. We've got about 40 minutes here, and I know we can do it. So when you're in Spark Post, so this is the graphics program, everything in here is editable. You've got the crosses, you can click that. You've got the name, you've got the subtitle there, you've got the graphics again, and you've got the background image. Now, if I select the background image and press replace, you can go to find a free photo. You can do that if you want, and that might be relevant if you want. Let me turn that off. But actually, I've got one of myself that I want to put up there. It's in my Creative Cloud, so go in here, and here's my header image. And the reason why I like to do that is because you want to show that employee or that employer that you know what you're doing. You're not afraid to put yourself out there and showcase who you are. Let me just get rid of that one. There we go. Let's add it in here. I think the upload's slow because I'm presenting at the same time. Here we go. That's a bit better. Going to open that up. I'm going to pin it to the background. I'm going to let that load. Then also, again, I think it's because of the connection speed, but I'm just going to plow on through, put my name in the background there. I might change the text here. Again, it's really easy. You can just you can just click whatever text you want and you can just pop it in there. Let's see if it's gonna allow me to do it. It seems like the upload speed is not playing ball. Actually, maybe because it's 2.2 meg. So maybe what I'll do instead is just go to a free photo and let's go to person and let's pretend that this is me. Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's my one. Perfect. It was just taking too long. Right. So things that I can do with this, I can select filters. If I'm thinking, do you know what, the background image and my text doesn't really allow for it to be red, I can, darken the filter if I want to, if that's a bit too much. Always put that second one in there. Let's get rid of that. Delete cell. Cool. There's me. And if I want to change the filters again, maybe I'll go to multiply. You can click that again. There we go. That's a bit better. That's a lot more readable. And then also I can select the text here and I can do things like play with the scale if I want to. There we go. And I can also rotate the image. Now, I actually quite like doing the rotate the image because I think it makes things a little bit more interesting. I can also grab the picture and let me, oh, it's doing it again. You see, it's all catching up. Let's delete that cell again. There we go. That's kind of nice. I think I'll rotate again. There we go. Maybe move the scale out. There we go. That looks nice to me. Happy with the squares where they are. If I wanted to, I could bring those in or bring those out, but I'm going to undo the move because I like the way it's doing, what it's doing there. I might change the font because I think that's a bit of an old school font. I might change it to something like Harman Sans. That might look a bit cooler. Yeah, that's fine. And then when I'm happy with that, all I have to do is download it. I can download it as a JPEG. I'll do that now. Start download. But also a really cool thing, you can see it's downloading down there. If I'd have given it its proper title, like Dominic Header, for example, it would have done that in the file name as well. One of the other things I can do is press share there. Once it's saved, I'll be able to publish that post, and it will give me, there we go, publish, and it will create a link for me. This normally is really, really quick, but because of the video behind it, the fact that I'm presenting, it's taking a little bit longer than normal. But I click that link, and what that'll do is that'll give me a unique URL, which I can then share with, my tutor, my teacher, my colleagues or my fellow students, and they can give me some feedback and say, hey, Dom, I really liked your header, but I couldn't really read the text. Why didn't you put an image filter on there? That would make it much better. Something like that. Okay, I'm not going to wait around for that URL, I don't think, unless I just go straight on to, yeah, I'll leave that to load so I can go back and show you in a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my home, into my projects. Let's see if this comes up. There you go. There's the URL. So I can copy that and I can send that out via Teams or Google Classroom, or just, send it in an email to my tutor, whatever I want. Okay, let's go back into projects. I've got it here as well. So you've got Spark Your Career. Got the Grimsby stuff. Now that I've got my header image, which is the top of my digital portfolio, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a career infographic. And just because of time, I'm going to show you one that I've made earlier. It's like proper Blue Peter style. So let me get rid of that at the bottom, and I'll just check in quickly to see if there's any questions. Okay. If there are any questions, just stick it in there. That'd be great. Now, this is my infographic on how to become a drone pilot. Now, if I wanted to, I could search for, instead of photographer like I did last time, I could just search for infographic. Now, you can build all these from scratch as well. It's totally possible. But I just like to use the infographics because, one, it makes me look like I know what I'm talking about, which is always important. And two, these are just they're made by professional people, and they're absolutely beautiful. So I might as well go through and pick the one that I need. I've used so many of these in so many different situations. Where's the one that I'm using now? Well, I mean, you could just use any of them. These ones are quite cool as well. But what I'll do is I'll show the one that I've used to make my sort of demo portfolio, and this is how to become a drone pilot. And again, in Spark Post, might not be how to become a drone pilot. It might be how to become a AI engineer. Might be my grammar right. An AI engineer, for example, you could do that. You can do things like changing how it censors or capitalize and fit. Letter spacing. This is quite a cool one. All of these tools are just so easy to use. How to become a drone. You can also change things like opacity, but in this case, I don't think that's necessarily what we want to do. You can also change the background if you wanted to as well. That looks pretty cool as well. It kind of fits the text underneath. Things like icons, you might be, this might be for, I don't know, it might be for becoming a hairstylist, for example. So you might put hair in there, and it might be, that looks pretty Donald Trumpy, doesn't it? Let's put that one in there. So, you can changing the icons is very, very easy to do. Industry overview, you might change any of these. Routes to entry, replace icon, you might put scissors in there, something like that. So whatever sort of relates to your industry or the course that you're teaching, very, very simple to change these things. Again, the text in here, you can just click and it'll change it. You can just type in there, it does it itself. You can change the size of the boxes if you want, but actually I wanted to keep this kind of nice and chunky. This one had quite a lot of text, so I extended the box. You can do things like, the text, in this instance, that's not something that we want to do. You have these separating lines. If you click it, it's actually just an icon. It's just a line, so you can change the style of that if you want to. And then on the background here, you've got this image. Now, if I wanted to replace the image, I might put stylist, something like that. Oh, that one's quite cool. So there you go. Now I can do things like change the scale on it, but I can also, move where that image kind of sits within the background image. And also, if I select that image and then look at the filters, it's actually got a darken filter on. I thought it might have. If I change that one, not so good for the text. Colorize it, yeah, that's pretty cool. Multiply is quite good. That one's good because you can still read the text. I'd probably go through and change things like the color on these things. I was actually just starting to group those just so you could see that if I wanted to, I could group all of those orange titles. I can't change the color all at once, but what I could do is just move those around. So I could say maybe you want them to be more central, whatever it is, but very, very simple to manipulate all of these different things, all the different icons, and everything just comes in this kind of handy little toolbar down here. Very, very simple to do. Again, if you want to, so if I change the text here and say how to become a hair stylist, that's very easy to do as well. Whenever you're ready, you might want to download that. So I've changed it into, I've got a proper title for this. So when you can see it gives you different options for exporting these. PNG is best for high quality. Also very good if you've got transparent backgrounds. PNGs work very well. You see it's downloaded there. And again, you can click share and you'll be able to bring it into your, you'll be able to publish it and it will do the same as we did last time. It'll generate a link. You'll see that it's done it there. And I'll be able to use that link and, send that in as a, completed homework challenge or study challenge or whatever it is. And you've got integrations with Teams and Classroom and email and all the rest of it. Now that we've got that, what I want to do is show you, yes, I want to show you how to create your own portfolio from scratch. So what we've been doing so far has been using Adobe Spark Post, okay? That's like a really mini version of Photoshop. We've been using Adobe Spark Post. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Adobe Spark Page. So I'm going to select Web Page in here. Okay. Now once it loads up, this is basically it's basically like a really easy web page builder. It's a very nice way to have, you could go to an employer or an apprentice provider or, another education provider and say, hey, this is me, this is what I'm about. You could just send them a link and it would open up in a beautiful page that they could go and scroll through and read all about you. Now, I want to put in the header image that I made in the first challenge. So I'm going to upload a photo and it's in my downloads and it is this one. I didn't give it a proper name, but there it is. Now you'll see it kind of has this add a title in here. Now I don't need to do that because in my header image I actually put my name and I put my social handle in there, but you can put it in here if you want, but I don't need to do that. But I will show you just how that works. And then add a subtitle at Dom. Let's go train it. Now that I've done that, I can move that around if I want to. So actually, it's belt and braces here because I've got it in the image, but then I've also got it in the actual portfolio itself. So I'm just going to go in and delete that, and I'll delete that as well. We don't need it. Right. Now, next thing to do is, let me just go to my, these are the kind of writing templates which I use in order to guide students through these challenges. I'll just select the text that I've got there, which is kind of like a little intro. Let me get rid of that. Got a little intro, so I'm going to put that in as text. You'll see that it was in this writing template. It was in 2 separate paragraphs, and it's put it into 2 separate paragraphs here. Perfect. Now I can do things like change the size. It's got header 1, header 2. Again, the options for you to be able to do things in here, they're not hugely extensive, which is really good because it means that you're not sort of clicking through a million different options. I've got header 1 if I want to do that. There's header 1. But actually, I think I'm just going to keep it as normal text. I think that's all I need. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the, you can, there's all sorts of things here. You can, bold and italic, and you can also add in a link and change it to a quote and bullet points and all this kind of thing. But I'll just keep it simple for now. And then what I'm going to do is add in something called a split layout. You see I have all these options: photo, text, button, video, photo, grid, glide, show, split layout. I'll show you all of these. I'm going to add in a split layout. So on this side here, I'm going to upload the, well, it was initially a drone pilot one, wasn't it? But we edited it to become how to become a hairstylist. So a lot of the text doesn't make sense, but this is just to show you how it works. how to become a hairstylist. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this text and put it on the right-hand side here. So I'll put in a title first, and I'll say like, why a hairstylist? So this is just so that employer, maybe that's a bit big. Maybe I'll change it to 2. Maybe I'll see what, oh yeah, that's nice. I've changed it to a quote. That's much nicer. Looks a lot more stylish. And then I'll also add in my text here. Now, again, the text doesn't match because, you know, I changed it to be a hairstylist, but, you know, this is about why they want to become a drone pilot. This is one of the things about the challenges. I really want students to think about what they're doing, what they're studying, where it's going to get them, what choices they're making. And then also, you know, you've got things like what are your skills and my skills are. So I'll copy all of that. This will probably go in a little bit of a funny way, but let's have a look. Text, I'll do it as bullets. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. So this one, I think I'll take that away, add it in as another piece of text, and maybe change this into a quote as well. So we've got why a hairstylist, blah, blah, blah. My skills are blah, blah, blah. That's a really nice section. So let's have a look and see what this looks when you present it. Again, this is a really good way for a person to be able to, you know, stand up in front of an employer or, you know, further education provider, maybe the next step that they're going on to, maybe to university, whatever that is. And then they can just scroll through. I think that's really nice. And it's just a really good way for them to look professional. They've got professional looking graphics behind them. It looks great. Now, I will show you just very quickly. I will show you how to change things like the theme. So we've got, at the moment, I'm not sure what theme we're using at the moment. Which one are we on? Well, actually, my favorite is Luca down here. I really like Luca. I think it's great. I think it, and what it does is it kind of changes things ever so slightly. So, you know, the quotes have now become these kind of big standout things here, and they've gone into red, which are kind of like, and then maybe if I change this to a header 2 now, yeah, I like the font on Luca. It's always pretty nice. And you'll see if I go back into present now, I've got my header image that's slightly bigger. And then we've got these, you know, these sort of quote sections here, which make it look a little bit more professional. So I'm going to keep that kind of page, that sort of portfolio for now. Right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put in a glide show. Okay. So let's click glide show down here. So, you know, you can put in a new section anywhere you like. You can put your glide show in here if you like, but I'm doing this kind of in sequence. Put my glide show in. Now, in order for me to do this glide show, it's asking me to put some background photos to your glide show. Okay, so the glide show is the one where it kind of scrolls through from one to the next. It looks very, very beautiful as it goes through. You can put in text and images and videos on top, but this is kind of the background. So you kind of need to know what you're actually going to be talking about in your glide show. And I've got this writing sort of template here, which helps students to, you know, tell people about their achievements to date, and I've got a couple of placeholder things that I've got here. So I've got this 200-word challenge thing that I'd be doing work, and then I've also got this these YouTube tutorials which we use quite a lot. So I'm going to put those 2 things in. So I'm looking for, I know I'm looking for the first one, and I've got the second one as an image. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to upload a photo. Now it's in my Creative Cloud. It's in Grimsby. And it's in, that's the one, Ghost Story. Okay, cool. That's one. And then the next one is Find Free Photos. Now, Find Free Photos is amazing. You might never ever upload any of your own photos because this is just so good. So let me put airplane in. Okay, let's say, I mean, it could be any of these. Let's use this one here. Okay, cool. Now that that's in, you can change the order of these by using these arrows here. Okay. I actually want that airplane one to be in first. So I think, do you know what? I think I'm going to change that one. I'll replace it and I'll click that one instead. Cool. Nice. So I'll click save. And what you'll see now is we finished our how to become a hairstylist section. I'll just be loading there. There we go. And then we've got these 2 kind of glide shows that come in and out. So Glideshow is a beautiful way to show off a portfolio. And what I'll do is I'll grab this text here. Well, actually, I'll grab the title first, and I'll show you just how to do this very, very quickly. Where am I? I'm on this one. Okay, so my title is this one. I'll change it to H1. Actually, I've also got a little section here which kind of introduces this glide show as well. So let me put that in before my glide show. Just select text, put that in, and then I'll change that one to H1. Here are some of my achievements to date. Change that to header 2, or maybe we change that to header 1. Yeah, nice. And this is where a student can showcase some of the things that they've done before. So I'm talking about, so one of the things I do in work is this academic 200-word challenge. Your students, it might be, you know, it might be a qualification that they've got. It might be a community event that they took part in. It might be a complete passion project that they've done. Whatever that is, you can, you know, manipulate it to be whatever you need it to be. Okay, now it's put it in separate paragraphs here. So I think what I'll do is I'll grab this text here, just cut it, paste it in here. Nice. And then what I'm looking to do is I'll put this video in there. I won't do everything just from a time point of view, but you can put all sorts of things in. So I'll put this video in just by clicking video. I can put a YouTube link or a Spark video link or a Vimeo link. But I've actually got a Spark video one here. That's going to load up. Nice. And then also I'll show you how to do the button. Okay. So so check out the 200-word challenges. So this equally could be like check out my appearance in this you know, industry magazine, for example, where they interviewed me, whatever. Again, you can censor the text if you want to, but I'm going to keep mine all left aligned. That video will play. Then I'm going to scroll through to the next section here. Now I'm going to grab this text box and put it over to the other side. Okay, so it breaks it up. I've got it down the left in one, and then it's going to be down the right in the other. So I'll grab this one. The next one is a DigiDom YouTube channel, which I do. Let me put that in as a title, text. Header 2, I think would probably be best. Ooh. There we go. And maybe I'll center that and then go and grab some text again. Here's a series of tutorials I made for YouTube to show people how to use Adobe Spark. Pop that in there. Again, you'll see it's turned it into 2 separate sections. If I go in now and take this YouTube link, it will immediately embed a YouTube link. So this could be, you know, like here's a link to my favorite sort of industry guru. I listen to this person all the time, whatever it is. That's really easy to do. So there's our glide show. Let me show you how that looks. So if I scroll up to the top, if I present that, right, here are some of my achievements today to represent a good range of skills that I'll bring to your team or your course or this apprenticeship. I've chosen one from each of the following categories. Academic. I do the 200-word challenge. Here's a bit of blurb about it. If I click that button, it will take you through another page where you can find out more information. You can also scroll down, play this video. If you want to do that in a presentation, that's cool. You won't be able to hear the sound on that. But you know, it goes through from, just plays like a normal video. And then it also, as you scroll down, it kind of just glides through to this next section here. Nice. And then again, you've got this YouTube video. You can click it and it pops up, and then you can play that in a presentation if you want as well. Okay. So now that we've done that, we've done our glide show. I'm going to do top 5 tasks of a wind turbine engineer. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this particular challenge is because I wanted students to be able to showcase to to an employer or to a university or to someone who's given it an apprenticeship. I know what I'm letting myself in for. I know what the demands of this job are. I've researched what it's all about, and I think I've got the skills to make this work. So please, give me the opportunity. And a really cool way to do this is using Adobe Spark Post. So what I'll do is, let me go back in here, go to my projects, and I'll show you what I did here. So Very good. So my Spark, you create. One of the really cool things about Spark as well is you can organize things into, folders and have little libraries as well, which is cool. If you want to share things with students, you can create a library, put some assets in, and say, hey, go and make your own, but the assets are in this library, and you can just, populate that with all of your students' email addresses, for example. So let's have a look at one of the Grimsby examples. So here we got a wind turbine engineer. So we'll have a look. Let's have a look at this this writing template. So one of the things I said was, right, I want you to go away and research the top 5 tasks of wind turbine engineer. And what they did was they identified what those tasks are. They're all down the left. We've got wind farm site visit. We've got presentations. We've got report writing, maintenance, frequent travel. And then they've done a bit of, they've done a bit of research on what that actually means. So that they understand, yes, I might be going from site to site. I might need a company car. That means I need a driver's license, whatever that is. Report writing, I'll need to have a good standard of English. Presentation, and I'll need to be a strong communicator. And then we've got all these research links, which is where they found this kind of information. So if I go into just let that one load. Okay, let me just check for any questions while things are going. Okay, cool. Any questions, just stick them in there. When I'm looking to make my sort of my graphic here, one of the ways I've done this was a template. So let me show you how I did it. Let me go back to the home, and I will search for collage, for example. Now, if I search for collage, rather than having to build it from scratch, although to be honest, making a collage is so easy that actually you can just do it from scratch if you want to. But there's all sorts of things here. I think, see, this is quite a good one. So it's meant to be a postcard, greetings from Greece, but you could turn that to top 5 tasks of a wind turbine engineer, for example. But I actually use this one here, take the American food trip. So you can see that's the difference between that one. I've taken that template, they designed it, it looked beautiful. I really like the layout. I really liked the way the text, and it had that sort of big header at the top. But then I just, played around with it. It took me about 10 minutes and made it look like this, a lot more sort of business orientated. It's a lot cleaner. And I did things like I changed the text so it was all the same. It was all the same font. So it's this Myriad Hebrew, which is a really nice sort of clean one. And I made sure that they were all roughly, they are exactly the same size, apart from that one. That one's 28.2, the font, because it was slightly bigger. So, but you could change it to 28.4 if you wanted to. There you go. But it's very, very simple to be able to work with these templates, and you can just click any of the photos, and instead of turbine, instead of that one, you could say, well, actually, that one doesn't look as good as, say, this one. Maybe you're like an old school wind turbine engineer. Who knows? But this could be, top 5 tasks of a carpenter. There we go. So then you can do things like, change the size of the boxes just by grabbing these little circles here. Very, very simple to do. You can change the sort of orientation of it as well if you want to. Kind of like it where it is there. So in that case, it might be, I might change that to carpenter. Is that how you spell it? I think it is, isn't it? And it might be use of machinery. That might be one of them. And then you can play around with these boxes. You can grab them and put them any way you like. But I'm just gonna whack mine in the corner, like it. If I wanted to change the font, I could do, but I'm not going to. Top 5 tasks of a carpenter. This one could be maybe like customer service, something like that. Maybe they've got to be able to talk to people properly. Yeah, look at this guy. This is how not to do customer service. Let's keep him in there. Looks good. And we'll change that presentation to customer service. Nice. And that'll just take a little while to load, I think, and that photo will come back in there. They might do. It might not be report writing. It might be accounts. That one, I'll leave the same image in, But you kind of get the picture on how easy that is to do, and your students can do that so that they can, where is this one gone? Come on, where are you? Let's go in. It'll load at some point. So that's how you do that one, and then maybe I will download that so I can just show you how to. And that is gone down to my machine there. If I wanted to share that as a task, I would publish it. Because I've actually updated something in this link, I would actually have to go in and click link again, and it would give me more options. It would ask me to update the link so that I had all the new stuff in there. There we go. We've got it downloaded onto our machine. So therefore, if we now go back and go into I'll go back to home here. If I open up my one of my recent projects, which will be my page, and I'll say like Grimsby portfolio. Cool. If I open that one up again, what I'll be able to do is I've got my glide show, and then I've got my next section. I'll put some text in, and I'll say, what should I say here? Here are the top 5 tasks of a carpenter. Okay, cool. I'll change this to H1, and then I'll pop in my photo. It's downloaded on my machine. You can actually just see it down there in the bottom left. I'll upload that. Where is it? Download it here. It's this one. Cool. And then it'll give me options. No, that image didn't load in time. Never mind. But I'm going to change it to full width. You can see there it's looking good, apart from that one image that it's missing. But you have all sorts of different ways in which you can present this. You can do it like a window, and they kind of scroll through it like that. I don't tend to use that one so much. I don't find that to be the most useful one, but full width is pretty good here. I think that works perfectly. And then last but not least, we're doing well for time. So last but not least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put together a video. Now, this is one of the things which I think is probably the one that will take the most time. It's probably the one that will need the most encouragement for your students, but I think it's really, really important for them to do an About Me video, because it shows employers that, they're not backwards in coming forwards. They don't mind presenting themselves on camera. They don't mind, hearing the sound of their own voice. And I think that goes a really long way with employers and, with, people who are giving out apprenticeships or, university admissions, whatever that is. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back to projects, and just because this one does take slightly longer than normal, I'm not going to do this one from scratch. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to show you one that's kind of already done, and then just play around with it in there. So if you want, so here's the video here. Now the video dashboard is very, very simple, very intuitive. You just go one slide at a time. It's it's the range of sort of editing tools that you've got isn't huge, but that's what makes it really, really creative. That's what means that the output is always, absolutely sort of it's really, what I'm trying to say is it's really, really hard to get Adobe Spark video wrong. Okay, there is a tutorial that you can go to there, but basically what I'm going to show you here, it's got some old branding from a different thing there. Now what I'm going to show you is it's basically just a series of slides. Okay, that's it. Okay, now you can put video in there, like this one, for example, is a video. If I click that, it's got me like shaking nervously on a TEDx stage there. So you can have video in there. You can have all sorts of images in there. I've got another video in here as well. But one of the really cool things about it, you can see this big button in the middle. This is your voiceover video. This is your voiceover button. So for example, I've started off with my About Me page. I can put my background image in. You've seen a similar one to that anyway already. I can zoom into that if I want to, if I think that's appropriate. I can change the layout of this if I really wanted to as well. I'm on a full screen one, but you can split screen. I have got a split screen in here. You see, that's a split screen. You can put text on one side. You can put an image or a photo on the other. So So I could change that from an icon into a photo. I could change it to that one. That looks pretty cool. That looks great. So basically on every single slide, it's the same situation. You can edit it. If it's a image by zooming in and zooming out, you can add some text in. Now I've selected full screen text, but I could do it as a caption, kind of more subtitly, but you can pop this anywhere on the page. Sometimes I'd use the caption one because it's got a bit of a better color scheme to it, but you can also, change how big it is. You can reduce it right down. Very simple to do. One of the really cool things about the, if I go in here and edit this one, so if I press on the scissors there, it's got the edit. Now, you can change the length of all of these clips just by grabbing the lollipop here, okay? So what I'll do is I'll change it to this one. This is an example of me doing a STEM workshop in a primary school. Some of the kids look at this girl looking really bored over here. So I'll say that one's good for me. I'll save it. Now what I want to do is I want to put a voiceover in. So I'll click the button. One of the things that I do most in my job at Adobe is going into different schools and doing different workshops around things like STEM, around how to use video in the classroom. Now, you can record up to 30 seconds there, okay? But what I'll show you now when I go in here is if I click there and edit again, okay? If I press this red button here, it's aligned the voice to the video because that I had edited that video so that it was only 4 seconds long, but then my voiceover was 12 seconds. So by pressing that button, it says, hey, I'm going to align your video and your voice to exactly the same time. And now it's perfectly positioned so that the length of the video matches my voice. So I'll click save. It's all done. You can change things like, how loud or soft or on mute the sound is. So basically, if you've got anything on the video that you want to be part of the video, you can put it on loud. If you want to have a little background bubble, where, and you've got your voiceover as well, you can do that. Or if you want to just take away the sound of screaming kids like I do, then you put it on mute and you can just put your voiceover in the background. You can do things like change the music. There's loads of different free bits of music in there. They're all pretty good. You can change the level of those. You can also add your own music if you want to do that as well. This section I did here was about places that I'd lived. You can put your different types of photos in there. You can go to the free library. I'm going to put that one in here. I can click once that's kind of loaded itself up. It's going to take a while, I think. I will click this little button here. There we go. And then I can just move that down so you can see the live bird, which is perfect. But you can also just upload your own photo if you want to as well. You can also upload video. Where have I got some video? I've got some video on this one. But for example, like, what are you most proud of? I was most proud of my daughter, Olivia, who was born in November last year. But I could change this if I wanted to a video. And I would just go here and then just find a video that I wanted to upload. I won't do it now because that tends to take a little bit longer than we've probably got time for here. But again, you can play with the zoom and stick. There she is, smiling face right in the middle. But this is a really easy way for you to, put questions on the screen. They can answer them via a voiceover or through a video. Is there a challenge you want to do in the future? And you just click the voiceover button, it goes straight in. You can play with the split layout, very easy to do. And you can also invite people to these things as well. You can do that on all of the Spark projects. If you just click invite, you can, send it to your tutor or whatever it is. There's all sorts of kind of themes that you can change here, and they all just change how you can see if you scroll through them, it'll change how the transitions work from slide to slide. Very, very simple. It also changes things like the color as well. I do like this statement one. I think it's cool. If I wanted to change it to green, for example, that would be very simple to do. And it just changes all of those. Anywhere it's appropriate, you can see the little caption text there. That's where it changes all the, changes the color. And then whenever you're ready, you can download it. Just click download and it will, this is a sort of 3-minute video, so it'll take a while. I'm not going to do that, but it will automatically download like all the other ones did. Or you can share it by pressing publish and creating the link. Now, I think I'm not going to do that right now because it's going to take a while. So what I'll do is I'll go back in, I'll go to my projects, I'll get actually the original copy of that video, Spark Your Career, and it's this About Me video here. So I'll publish this one. It's actually already being published, so this should be a lot quicker to do. And in the meantime, what I'll do is, what I'm looking to do here is put in, some text. So I'll say, here's an about, not Adobe, an about me video, which gives you a better picture of who I am. You can put something better in there, a better picture of who I am. Change that to header 1, biggest one I can get. Go back in here. I've got a link here. Then what I'll do is I'll click the button below, select video, pop it in there. Nice. And that is available to be played. And then also maybe at the bottom, what I'll do is I'll put any questions or feedback, please email Traynor, that's me, at adobe.com. So I'll put that in there in case you guys need any help as well. If you want me to send you the link to all of these challenges, I'm more than happy to do that as well. But now that I've shown you how to do all of these different things, I've got my About Me video, I've got my top 5 tasks of a carpenter, I've got my glide show of the things that I've done, my sort of impressive achievements. I've done my research on how to become a hairstylist. And then I've got a little bit of an intro here, and I've also got my header image. And if I present that, just give that a second to load. Then if I'm standing up in front of an employer, then or whoever it is, whoever the gatekeeper is, I can just scroll through. Makes me look great. There's the images. Very nice split layout there. Text on one side, image on the other. Shows I've done my homework. Here's some of my achievements to date. I've got my 200-word challenge here. The glide show is making me look good. I can play that video if the employer or gatekeeper wants to see it. Scroll through to the next one, my Digidom channel. This is where I can showcase different videos as well. Very simple. And then keep going. Top 5 tasks of a carpenter. Shows what these what this industry or this job is all about. And then finally, an About Me video. This is who I am. Get a sense of what I'm like by watching this video. And then any questions or feedback, please email traynor@adobe.com. Or if you'd like to offer me a job, or if you'd like to offer me an apprenticeship, or if you'd like to offer me a place at university, or whatever it is. There we go. Right, well, that is Adobe Spark in a nutshell. That took us less than an hour, which I thought was great. So I'll stop sharing there. And if anyone's got any questions or anything like that, you can either just, I don't know how it works, like raise your hands, pipe up, stick something in the chat, whatever you'd like to do. Otherwise, that was great. I really enjoyed that, and I hope it was useful. Please let me know if it was useful, and if it was, and how you might use it for your particular, study stream or your subject or whatever. Yeah, pop in any questions if you've got any. No problem, Elaine. Oh, cool. Yeah, the Team English. Wicked. Yeah, all of that Team English stuff I did, that was done in Adobe Spark Post. And the 200-word challenges, yeah, that was actually in that. So what a crazy sort of coincidence that is. But yeah, the 200-word challenges are great. I think I will be sharing those with the colleges as well. Yeah, I mean, Adobe Spark is absolutely awesome. I'm not going to lie. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's a complete game changer. It's so simple. It does pretty much everything to a really sort of basic level. And it's really, It is good for creatives, but I think it's even better for non-creatives because it makes you look like you are a creative, and it's also really good for, some of those subjects or career paths, for example, where, you know, maybe it's not so obvious how you could showcase your skills. It's a really great way to bring together, any photos, any videos, any finished projects, any sort of, yeah, anything at all. I mean, I've done these with, agricultural students as well. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, someone's saying the media makeup, this would be perfect for them. But like you could have a gallery on how to build a dry stone wall. It'd just be perfect. Or like, lambing season, whatever it is. It completely feeds all ends of the spectrum. It's really cool.